So we only have about like 15 games left in the Major League Baseball season, so it's time to start talking about some award predictions, where we think teams are going to go in the playoffs, who's going to make it, kind of like almost an end of the season recap. With that being said, you read the title of today's video. I'm going to be going over the 10 players that I think are most likely able to win the MVP this year. Not just National League or American League. We're going to combine them together, talk about 10 players who just look like they have a shot to actually win it. There are going to be a lot of players left off this list. I'm pretty much taking right now the best players that are in the league, talking about them. In a short season where we've only played about 45 games thus far, there are going to be a lot of players who can be in the conversation, but to me, these are the 10 best available, so don't be upset if I leave off your favorite player. As always, if you do enjoy this video, you like this kind of content, you want to see Cy Youngs tomorrow, make sure to leave a like. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, click that sub button, join the team. Remember to get in the comments down below. Let me know who I left off. Let me know who you think is going to win the MVP. Who's your pick in the National League and American League? And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, second channel. Links are always in the description to all my social media. For the first player of today's video, wow, what a season this guy on the south side of Chicago is having, Jose Abreu. Now, if you've been a fan of this channel, you've seen my videos, I've always spoke highly of Jose Abreu. I think he's one of the most underrated first basemen in baseball. Since coming to America and playing in the majors in 2014, he's averaging an OPS right around 850. He's had a really solid career, and in 2020 through 45 games, his numbers are nuts. 15 homers, leads baseball in RBIs at 47, and leads the American League in hits at 59. 319 batting average, 364 on base, 627 slugging, and 991 OPS, the most total bases in the league. Jose Abreu is carrying the White Sox right now. That team has been great, and he's a huge part of it. Could be Tim Anderson, could be Luis Robert, but I'm picking Jose Abreu because he's just mashing this year. For this next player, sticking with the theme of first baseman, gonna go talk about Atlanta Braves player Freddie Freeman, who has been in the MVP conversation for the last couple seasons, and I think this year he has a legitimate shot to win it. Now, he might not be the league leader in a lot of big categories, but he does lead the National League in RBIs with 43. He's got 10 homers, 15 doubles, and a triple, 55 hits, 333 batting average, 450 on base. I mean, a 450 on base, what? 618 slugging, 1068 OPS. Those are all towards the tops of Major League Baseball. He's on a team in the Braves that's in first place, gonna make the playoffs. He's walked more than he struck out this year, 33 walks to 28 strikeouts. Despite battling COVID early in the year, Freddie Freeman is having possibly one of the best seasons of his career and definitely needs to be in the conversation for MVP. He might not be the favorite right now, but with 15 games left in the season, that can all change, and I think Freddie Freeman's got a good shot to win it. For player number 3, we're sticking in the National League East. Let's talk about Juan Soto. Now, Juan Soto has only played in 31 games out of his team's like 40 or so, but his numbers are so good, and yes, the Nationals are bad, but we know that people can win MVPs on bad teams, aka Mike Trout. So far in the 31 games, Soto has 11 homers, 9 doubles, and 31 RBIs, stealing 3 bases, a 358 batting average with a 485 on base, which leads Major League Baseball, 743 slugging, which leads Major League Baseball, and a 1228 OPS, which of course leads Major League Baseball. Yes, he's played less games, so it's a smaller sample size. He only has 109 at-bats, but right now in those 109 at-bats, there hasn't been anyone in baseball better. Those numbers are gross. 20 extra base hits in 31 games, 1200 OPS. Juan Soto is an absolute stud. Coronavirus didn't slow him down one bit. You gotta keep his name in the MVP voting talks because Juan Soto is going off this year, and he's not the only player from the Nationals that is. We'll talk about that next guy later. Let's move out now to the National League West and talk about the $300 million man, newly acquired Mookie Betts of the Los Angeles Dodgers. A lot of people were upset because I didn't start Mookie in my National League All-Star video, but at the time when that was recorded, his numbers were a little bit worse than some of the others. Right now, though, he is definitely an MVP candidate because over this past week or so, he's been going off. 14 homers, 8 doubles, 33 RBIs, stealing 6 bases, 302 average, 383 on base, 598 slugging, and a 981 OPS. Now, while his numbers might not be as good as some of the other guys in the National League, you have to take into account that, one, he plays incredible defense. He even started to play a little second base for the Dodgers the other night, and he's playing on what is the best team in Major League Baseball. There are going to be voters who factor that in. His numbers are good enough to be an MVP candidate. He plays on a team that's good enough to help him win that MVP. I think Mookie Betts can be a MVP in the National League for sure. It's just that there's another guy in his division that I like a little bit more right now, but still, in 43 games, having a WAR hovering around 2.7, 3.0, it's going to be pretty hard to beat. He's got a legitimate shot to win this thing. So a few minutes ago when I was talking about Juan Soto, I said his teammate is going to be mentioned as well because Trey Turner, whoa, Trey Turner's having an incredible season. In 44 games for the Nationals, Trey Turner leads all of Major League Baseball in hits with 64. He has 9 homers, 13 doubles, a National League best 4 triples and 27 RBIs, stealing 9 bases. 358 average, which is the best in the National League, 417 on base, 626 slugging. That's something we've never seen from him before. His previous high in slugging was 567, and that was in 73 games in 2016. Combine those all together, 1043 OPS. Trey Turner's playing pretty good defense at shortstop. I've always talked about him as one of the most underrated players in the league, and I think because of how good Juan Soto has been and how good some of the other shortstop have been in the National League, his name goes under the radar, but you look at the numbers and he has to be in the MVP conversation. Again, the Nationals being horrible is not going to help him, but in the same regard, he can't play every position, because if he did, the Nationals would be the best team in baseball. You get someone like Trey Turner in the field, you get him at the plate, you're doing something right. Gotta be in the MVP conversation with a 1043 OPS. Again, sticking in the National League East, I gotta bring up Marcell Ozuna of the Atlanta Braves. Ozuna is going back to those Miami Marlins days of 2017 where he had an incredible season, and honestly, he's having an even better season right now. In 46 games with the Braves, 14 homers, 11 doubles, 42 RBIs, completely filling in that void that they lost with Josh Donaldson. He's just stepped up massively. He's hitting the ball hard. He's getting on base, hitting for power. Marcell Ozuna is having a ridiculously good year. 320 average, 406 on base, 623 slugging, gives him a 1029 OPS. Now, he doesn't lead the league in any categories, which I think is going to hurt him a little bit. But if you look at his numbers as a whole, he has been so incredibly important for the Braves, especially when towards the start of the year, Acuna was struggling a little bit. They weren't getting the offense that they want. Marcell Ozuna was there to step up and hit some big homers, get some big hits for them. I think not leading the league in any specific category will hurt him, and he's not particularly great in the field, but those offensive numbers don't lie. He's absolutely raking at the plate. Marcell Ozuna's got to be in the conversation. All right, back to the American League East now. The Yankees have had a weird season, but there's one guy who is helping carry that offense, and it's Luke Voit. We got to talk about him. In 42 games, he has a major league best 16 homers, not hitting doubles anymore, 4, but again, if he's hitting 16 homers in 42 games, you're going to be all right with that. 37 RBIs. He's hitting 277, which again doesn't jump off the page. 343 on base, 613 slugging, and 956 OPS. I think out of all the players on this list, it's the most unlikely that Luke Voit has a chance to win it. Not a particularly great fielder, and while he is mashing at the plate for power, his average and on base percentage isn't particularly high, but I figured with how bad the Yankees injuries have been this year, there's been one guy who stepped up massively, and that's going to be Luke Voit, and I do think that some voters will recognize that and give him some love. Lewis Linwood Voit, I think, is not going to really be an MVP guy, but there is a chance that he gets some votes, and he deserves it. He's been the most valuable player, arguably, on the Yankees this year. Okay, now back to the National League. San Diego Padres are good, and a big reason for that, Fernando Tatis Jr. We can't talk about MVPs without who, in my eyes, is the favorite in the National League, Fernando Tatis Jr. 46 games played, he scored a major league best 46 runs this far, 15 homers, which ties him for the league in the National League, 10 doubles, 2 triples, 40 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, has not been caught stealing yet, 303 batting average with a 396 on base, 635 slugging, gives him a 1031 OPS. He's got the most total bases in the National League. He's playing a good shortstop. He's cleaned up the errors a bit. He's the most exciting player in baseball without a doubt. Fernando Tatis Jr. is so good. I mean, we got a glimpse of him last year in 2019, the 84 games before the injury, and he was incredible, a 969 OPS. But we didn't think that he was going to come out in 2020 and be even better. I mean, how is it possible? Hitting for power, hitting for average, getting on base. Fernando Tatis is playing at an absolutely crazy high level. You might start to have to sprinkle him in the conversation of like a top 15 player in the league. Tatis Jr. is so good. He's my pick to win the MVP right now, so clearly he's going to be featured in today's video. Padres are just fun. Down to the final two, we just talked about like a 21-year-old kid who's in the MVP race. Now we're going to be talking about a 40-year-old man, Nelson Cruz of the Minnesota Twins. Twins have been, I don't want to say a little underwhelming, but they haven't been the Twins that we thought they were. Now in 2020, Nelson Cruz, somehow at age 40, continues to be the player that we thought he is. 15 homers, 5 doubles, 31 RBIs, 50 hits on the season. He's hitting 327 with a 418 on base, 654 slugging, and an American League best 1072 OPS with an OPS plus at 190, which is the best in Major League Baseball. Nelson Cruz is a DH. That's going to hurt him because the only impact he has is at the plate during a game. But the impact that he has had at the plate is immense. He's absolutely killing it out there. I mean, at 40 years old, 15 homers, he's swinging Thor's hammer out there in Minnesota. He is literally the version of fine wine at the plate. Justin Verlander, pitching-wise, is a fine wine, only gets better with age. Nelson Cruz is a fine wine, getting better with age at the plate. I mean, how is he having arguably the best season of his career at 40 years old? Nelson Cruz is a beast. Nelson Cruz deserves to be talked about. Nelson Cruz, if he puts up numbers like this, deserves to possibly win an MVP, even as a DH. And then last, but certainly not least, you knew it was coming. He's a 3-time MVP. He won the MVP last year. Mike Trout of the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels stink. Again, what a surprise. You know who doesn't stink though? Mike Trout. He's trying his hardest to make the Angels good. They just aren't. He's played in 42 games thus far, 39 runs scored, which leads the American League. Tied for the Major League lead in homers at 16, 7 doubles, a triple, 39 RBIs. He's hitting 302 with a 403 on base, 660 slugging, best in the American League, to give him an OPS at 1064 and an OPS plus at 184. If you look at all the numbers that he's had in previous years where he's won an MVP, they're very, very similar, if not better sometimes. Mike Trout, even though he's on a bad team, is going to be in the conversation for the American League MVP. In my eyes, is the favorite to win the MVP in the American League. Trout's just been so incredibly good again, and people, I feel like, are almost sleeping on it because it's like, oh, 302 average, his on base at 403. Yeah, no, but he still hit 16 homers in 42 42 games. He's having a ridiculously good season. He just recently became a father, and he's getting like that dad strength. He's just falling out again. Is this guy ever going to not be just incredible? We're watching one of the best players of all time. Mike Trout, definitely an MVP candidate. So those are the 10 players I think are most likely able to win the MVP this year in the 2020 baseball season. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Who's your pick to win it? Who was left off this list? Drop that in the comments below. Remember to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. You want to see the Cy Youngs tomorrow, also drop a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Help me reach 200K. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, second channel, Twitch, all that stuff. Links in the description. The baseball season's almost over. There's still so much to talk about. This is going to be the spot for you guys, so you don't want to miss out on any of it. That's where we'll wrap up today's video. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.